Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is John Fahey. Joining me as ever, prettiest boy under the sun, thinker, stinker, pee-pee drinker, the recently nut-depleted Aaron Joseph Pita.
Yana, it's a simple calculus, Yana. I'm a simple man. If Drinko's pee-pee is wrong, I don't want to be right.
You're on thin ice, council.
Oh, yellow? Is it yellow ice?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you eat that yellow snow. Watch out, Will. Those kids go.
Hey,
See, you're right.
I'm Aaron.
My left,
Oh, my God.
Matthew Joseph Brousseau.
The apex of the triangle of us.
Yes.
You are the pinnacle. You are the capstone, the eye at the top of the pyramid.
Well, you know what they say when the two dudes are facing off in
Glad
Face
to.
Off?
in Itchy the Killer? The guy says the subtitle is "You are a total chaos. You are the greatest pervert."
That's right. You are total chaos, and
You are the greatest pervert.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I mean,
Well.
Aaron, it's you. Fine.
I'm going fucking.
I'm no hypo.
Fuck, nose is bleeding.
Scanners
Scanners right now.
Yeah, Max Headroom.
Bits of sick.
God. It's great to be with you boys.
It's great to be
always
with you, bits of sick. Did you just say bits of sick?
I'm really psyched about doing early today. It's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
we
sun
get to
was up
just
when we got here.
Yeah.
Sun's up. you
Guns
know,
out.
Guns out. Dicks out. Dicks up.
Will you show me?
Glad to.
My daddy taught me.
What an episode last week with Joe K, huh?
Yes.
Fantastic. One of the best times. The past two episodes just were real blasts.
Really, really fun.
Yeah,
really fun.
really stupid,
Really, really dumb.
which is the best. I'm sorry.
It is. I
Very
mean,
It's pretty
you know,
great.
I mean, Joe's story is a little bit more serious, but like, it was still just so fun to do.
Yeah, we definitely dumbed it down.
Yeah, yeah.
We diluted the IQ.
We did. We fucked up the gene pool for generations.
That's
hopefully,
fine. We pissed in the
hopefully.
gene pool. Whatever,
Absolutely,
dude. It's got that stuff that turns a color to let you know you peed in it, right?
I like the taste. Is my problem.
You say problem, but I don't know.
Let's talk about the Patreon. We got
Talk about it.
We got Aaron Explains It All. We got Chopped Up Jukebox. We got I Thought This Was Funny. We
Connections.
Got Connections. Extra profiles. Please donate $5 a month. You get an extra show a week.
Yeah, please come on.
It really helps us out.
I mean, what do you pay for Netflix, and what do they have?
yeah, or some like shitty coffee from a corporation that's like ruining the
Or even an artisanal brew, which is like $6.
Yeah.
And that's every day.
Yeah.
And what does that do? Make you shit?
Yeah.
I'll make you shit.
Sure.
I'll make you shit with or without toilet.
You'll get loose.
Totally. Yeah. Just go over to your fucking, your neighbor's house and drink out of the fucking hose.
Yeah, that'll
You know what I
make
mean?
you
It's gonna be
shit.
better for you than fucking that whack ass coffee from.
That shit piss from Starbucks.
Yeah.
Starbucks.
Starbucks. I can't say Starbucks because they're
No.
a sponsor of the show.
Are
Yeah,
they?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Shout out to Starbucks.
Yeah, we love
Try their
you.
chicken sausage bacon biscuit. What do you have to eat today?
So gross. What a gross series of words.
Yeah.
Their shit is gross, but nice.
Right. Chicken.
I've never had it.
Chicken sausage bacon biscuit.
Chicken sausage
No,
and
it's-
bacon
It's
biscuit. It's
like
got a
a
little.
biscuit they opened up and like filled with some gnarly yellow soup.
Oh, there is some gruel in it. There's
Yeah.
like some weird gravy on it, but it's like
I
sweet.
think there's some Soylent Green in it.
Well,
Soylent Yellow now.
oh,
Hey,
fuck.
Five-
Soylent Brown.
five-
Soylent Brown afterwards.
Soylent Brown is shit. I swear.
I made it Soylent Brown. I'm sorry.
Well, you be thirsty for beer, piss, and hungry for shit food
I'm
on a
sorry.
regular basis in central Massachusetts.
With no recip.
recip.
None.
None.
Oh.
No.
I'm gonna eat your shit? I don't think you know how this works, pal. I'm at the front of this centipede. Guys, my very beautiful friend Allison Molnar is
Ooh.
so good at keeping up with the Fort Myers trash news. Fort Myers
Oh, the
fantastic.
Fort Myers Bulletin. Here we go.
it's so dope because it's just
Trash town.
It's just Florida, man, and it's really, really good. So she threw this shit up today. She loves it, dude. It's so fucking cool. This guy, a man from Lehigh, I told you, if the story is man holds baby hostage with knife, it's Lehigh.
Yeah.
It's always Lehigh.
Lehigh, Florida.
Yes, Lehigh Acres is the town, and it's the inland part. So you're going away from the ocean, so you get the real sacks of shit out there.
Yes.
Super methy. But in in that part of Florida, there's so much of it was swamp, and then they made all these canals. I think they did like 50 million cubic feet of dirt was like excavated to build all these canals to make Cape Coral a livable city for old retirees to come to. Yeah, it's a flat shithole.
They
It's
put a lot
nightmare.
of thought into that. That's causing no problems now.
Yeah, and it started in the 50s, and then it's like like a manufactured town, and they have all these canals, but these canals can be like up to 200 feet, but at least like 80 feet
Well, in length.
to across.
Oh, in width.
Yeah, and
wow. That's a hell of a canal.
Yeah, that's a
It's damn near,
Venetian.
it's Panama-esque.
so one of these guys,
Suez-like.
Sioux City. Yeah.
one of these guys jumped a canal with his Nissan Versa.
Wait, did he make it?
He made it.
Oh.
He made it, and then like immediately crashed into a truck. Witnesses said it was like
Not a bed of roses.
Witnesses said it was like something out of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Hey, that's
But
high praise.
Yeah.
In a Nissan Versa, right? And he completely clears it, and a neighbor.
Did he build a ramp?
Yeah.
A neighbor sees it. I don't know if he just like got going so fast that he just like kind of shot
the
over.
cars are
or it
on
might have been
speed.
like on a decline or something.
Wait, they don't have like the bridges don't go up and down on those things, do they?
No, there's nothing like that. There's
It's a ditch.
It's either paved
Yeah.
over or there's. So this neighbor says, "You ever seen a truck hit another truck on I-75? Kaboom!" He was driving full speed, came across the canal. He landed right here on the bank, as you can see. He hit the truck right here. He got out and started running. I went inside. I was scared. You were scared. The guy's running.
Yeah.
So he's like,
Well, maybe there's something in the car. Maybe there's bees in there.
Or a baby held hostage.
Yeah.
So is the Nissan Versa destroyed?
How's his pet alligator?
35-year-old Robert Foley wore his seatbelt for the jump, but
He did all that with a mason jar and light bulb in his ass?
he had his license revoked in 2017, and now he's facing a hit-and-run charge and 2 DIY charges.
Do-it-yourself charges?
DUI. Did I say
Well,
DIY?
he did do it himself.
He did do it himself, but he also reportedly broke his back.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
You just sprinted away on sheer willpower
Yeah.
and math.
No wonder he was scared of the guy. Guy's running on a broken back. He should be frightened of that man.
He's what a fucking psycho. No license. I'm gonna jump the canal.
No back.
He's running away. How are you?
Cops are going to be so pissed when they found out I broke my back. I got to get out of here.
He's
That was my dad's back.
Florida man. Spinal.
What do you mean by that? You broke
Back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Fuck you.
I had to do it.
Now, John, his back is broken.
Back is.
I broke my back.
What do you mean, like a
What do you
vertebrae?
mean by that? My back is broken. The sentence rephrase.
All right. Well, Jim Gray, great reporter. I might as well follow up on this
Yes.
one. And
do your due diligence, Jim.
Oh, Joe just sent me Toad.
Toad mode. Hashtag Toad mode.
You have a little appetizer, don't
I mean,
you?
I'm glad you just brought up sports because I got a real quick one.
Sports.
Water
sports?
This is kind of basic. Yeah.
Hi.
So this is from. This happened in 2004.
Okay.
Lamar Odom,
Yes.
famous for basketball, but also Kardashian thing.
And also famous for ODing, having a heart attack at the Moonlight Bunny Ranch.
Is that right?
Yeah, just a couple of years ago. He was doing
I
cocaine,
do
taking
kinda
boner
remember
pills,
that.
having sex with hookers.
Yeah, I mean that's triumvirate right there.
It is the holy trinity of fuckery.
I believe that's a 5 in the scale.
On the dick hardness
Yeah,
scale?
I mean,
well,
that's-
yeah, you're
that's
doing all that blow, taking all that Rhino 69, and you're fucking 10 feet tall, too. That's a lot of blood.
That's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
So 2004, he made the Olympic basketball team, right?
That's exactly right.
But he had to take a drug test before he did it, and so he said he was smoking weed every day all summer. So he had to pass a drug test. And so you know what he did? He went on Google, and he found what he described as a giant rubber black cock.
Oh, yeah, that's how I find mine, too.
With it matched his complexion, which is important.
Oh,
you know?
it's got to.
Because when you take the piss test, you have to pull your dick out in front of someone, and then they have to watch piss come out of your dick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And they have to, like, taste it.
They have
Make
to-
sure it doesn't taste like rubber either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't, I'm going to have to
Ooh.
find out.
Oh, I finished it. Do you have another one?
Can
Can I bite
I
it?
Drinkos?
Okay.
Drinkos?
Drink us. Big, black, different.
So, so the way these things work is you fill it up with someone else's clean piss.
Yeah, kind of like a Whizzinator.
Yeah, and then you squeeze it. And
Squeeze
that's
it,
how,
another fun
and that's
drink.
how the piss comes out. But
And I think as in real life, with these fake dicks, the pee is stored in the balls.
that's where I was going with this.
Oh,
Aaron.
shit.
His trainer,
Shit,
right
sorry.
right before the guy showed up, his trainer pissed into his balls because that's where the pee is stored.
Yeah.
And then he squeezed it out in front of him, the drug testing guy. The guy tested the temperature to make sure that it was
warm.
It was fresh. Mm-hmm. And then he made the Olympics. And then I think they capitulated terribly or something like that. I can't remember. I think they lost Argentina or something. They got the silver.
In 04?
Yeah, you're one of those years.
Maybe Spain.
Yeah, Spain.
Argentina.
Yeah.
Definitely not like New Zealand or something.
Right.
Now,
right.
usually with testicular smithereening, cum comes out.
Yes, but this is not necessarily smithereening. This is
Yes,
a
yes.
light pressure.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
a light.
smithereening is, that's the only way I can come.
Right. Well, when my friends ask me for my super clean piss, I usually just give them some cum. So it's embarrassing.
Oh, it's super clean. It's white. It's pure.
It's the cleanest.
Yeah, wow. When people ask me for piss, I just puke.
Yeah, when people ask me for piss, I'm like, I drank it all.
Oops. I'm like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. I didn't mean to step on your balls joke.
No, yeah, that's
Fucking
fine.
asshole.
Dude, pee is stored in the balls, and you fucking know it.
I guess, yeah.
I want to piss in your balls.
No.
Let me piss in your balls,
Please
dude.
don't.
Come on,
Please
dude.
don't ever
You got to
do that
pass
to
the drug
me.
test. How else are you going to pass it?
I
Good
Can I
point.
pee in your balls, Matt?
Yeah.
See?
You got to take the goat balls out first. Though.
Oh, yeah, well-
There's no room in there.
There's no room for piss.
No.
I found out about this guy that
The funny thing about my balls is that it's in my ass.
he's it's in the mid 80s in Tennessee, Knoxville, and he tells this woman he's with, he shows up like in a limousine or like a fancy car, like he's renting them all, and he's got like a lot of cash, and he's throwing that around, and he's telling this girl that he plays with Hank Williams Jr. and in the band, and she's like, I don't know, whatever, and he's like blowing through money, and like I guess he just blows through. Like she's like, I saw like he had like fucking like 20 grand.
Just some dude in Knoxville.
Just some dude, and then he's like, can I borrow some of this money? I gotta go over here and do this, and he borrows money from her, and
After he blows 20 G's in a weekend or whatever.
she's like, yeah, he blew it all,
You're gonna lend that guy money?
and so she gives it to him. And
like $100?
it was like 700, I think, and then he fucks off to Kentucky, where he meets a girl and tells her that he's Joe Montana. And so,
Well, you said that this is the 80s?
this is the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's no way to verify it.
yeah.
Right.
He's always
but-
wearing a helmet.
Yeah,
every
you
time
can never
see
tell.
him.
Yeah. The TVs were not 4K.
So he's
Yeah.
meeting her. He's using the other girl's credit card to buy tickets to go see Hank Williams Jr. Even
As Joe Montana.
As Joe
even
Montana.
though he's in the band, he's got to buy tickets.
Well, Joe Montana's not in the band.
No.
no. He's buying it with the girl who
Thinks he's
thinks
Hank
he's
Williams.
in the
Right,
band.
right.
And she's like, oh, okay. Well, now I know this is kind of
Yeah,
bullshit.
when she
Yeah.
gets the paper.
And
Because they just do that.
he buys like 4
Yeah.
tickets with her credit card to go see Hank Williams Jr. And it's like, you know where to find him.
Yeah.
Hey, he's gonna be at the show. What are you doing?
Go to
you
your
know?
guitar, yeah.
And so this girl, he's now meanwhile in Kentucky with this girl, he's Joe Montana, and he's like, He's like, let's get married, like on the 3rd, because I got to get back to practice on the 7th of March.
I got to work on my arm.
So they're throwing this fucking wedding together like mad fast.
Jesus Christ.
And,
Is he a hot guy?
I don't know, it looks like Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, yeah.
Hey.
Golden Boy.
And he's, he's just doing the same thing, like just like throwing around like a lot of money and stuff. He looks, like Joe Montana, I guess. And
I guess.
and he's like, the brother is like, tell the preacher who he is, and like say you're Joe Montana, like, because I guess people are like, he's not fucking Joe Montana. And so the preacher is like mad skeptical, and he looks up Joe Montana however you can in the 80s.
Yeah, library,
finds out
newspaper.
Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, Sports Illustrated, yep.
No, I mean in a live sense, like through the phone. He like gets a hold of Joe Montana's people or whatever, or somebody.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
Joe,
like,
are you here right now?
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey,
Are
Joe.
you Montana?
You ever fuck with bluegrass, Joe?
Joe? What do you know about identity theft?
Joe Montana is out of the country with his wife.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Or is he?
So he fucks off to Florida. The cat's out of the bag. And they found him, and they had him. They convinced him to return to Nashville for some reason, and he was arrested. And the first one who thought he was in the Hank Williams Jr. band she's quoted as saying this in the paper at the time, because there's another woman involved too that he's frauded, right?
Of course there is.
She says, we all love him, all 3 of us, but he's going to pay for what he did to us.
He's gonna pay.
He's going to pay.
How's he gonna pay?
I don't know.
But
but
it was just we love him.
I mean, going to prison presumably is that.
Did he go to prison
He did go to prison.
for impersonating a living legend?
And this fella right here is singing Sometimes I Feel Like Joe Montana. It's Hank Williams Jr.
What?
Hank Williams Jr.
Has a
has a song called Sometimes I Feel Like
That he
Joe.
wrote in response to that is
No,
before this.
no, I don't think it has anything to do with that.
What?
That's where the guy got
so
the
this guy
idea.
got the idea
Yeah.
from the song?
I mean, I think there was only like 3 famous people back then, and
Yeah,
2
yeah.
of them were Hank Williams Jr. and Joe Montana.
This guy is uncreative.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to go and get back in the game.
God, that's bad.
Toss a few more touchdowns.
Toss a few more.
Built some more home runs.
What? Joe Montana didn't hit any home runs.
He has no idea what he's talking about.
Sitting around
High out of his mind.
Yeah, he's wearing sunglasses.
all the fun.
Guy thinks he's Joe Montana, for Christ's sake.
You sure it wasn't Hank Williams?
Good old days, but I know those are gone.
Is that SNL?
Hey, can I borrow $700?
I'm Joe Montana. Can I borrow money from you?
Just keeps hanging on.
Isn't this some shit? Sorry.
Yeah, it's some shit. Sometimes I feel like Joe Montana. I can just guess.
Oh yeah, it's
Writes itself.
songwriting by numbers.
Yeah.
So one more game, Aaron.
There's one more.
Yeah, play for the Chiefs, Joe.
You think this guy was singing this in prison? Like,
I think this guy wrote the song, dude.
Can you imagine who he was saying he was in Florida?
Carl Tanzler. Sometimes I feel like Carl Tanzler.
Making love to a dead woman.
There is a country song it's called Sometimes I Feel Like Hank Williams Tonight. So that's probably where he probably ripped that off for that Joe Montana song.
Whoa. This
What
is
a
a weird
bummer.
connections chopped up jukebox.
Connections.
Wow, guys. It's
Yeah.
all interconnected. Like the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we
yeah.
are all one, Aaron. I don't know if you've ever done psychedelics or anything.
I'm not a fan of any drugs. No,
But we're actually all one.
we're all number one? We're all pissed? Yes, I know that. We're
That's
all
why
made-
I love it when you nut.
That's what happens when I nut.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
She burps.
Ew.
Dude, shut up. He burps. Whatever. I don't care. It's all the same. Everyone burps.
Did they ever figure out that guy's real name?
Everybody burps.
The guy. I think his name was John Ford. John Ford, 39-year-old.
Oh, he didn't go by Director John Ford?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like Director John Ford. And
Making
my
one more
daughter's
movie.
Angelica Houston. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm John Wayne.
Man.
Isn't that dope, though? What
It's
a
very
fucking scoundrel.
stupid.
And all three of these women get together and decide they all still love him.
Well, he must have been slinging some fucking Montana dick.
He's tossing some touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, hitting fucking home runs.
Oh, doing
bro.
all the Joe
Big
Montana
time,
stuff.
bro. Forget it. I want to tell you. You ready for the main course?
I've been just noshing.
Those were sheer appetizers. Aaron.
I've been just having small little hors d'oeuvres or hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Oh man, you just got so much bigger in the camera, dude. You look so great.
Can you see my pores?
What did they say in? His hair looked amazing.
His hair.
Yeah.
His hair was perfect.
I saw a werewolf at Trader Vic's.
His hair
was perfect. I love that. I also picture what the fucking werewolf's hair looks like 70s grease part.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Saw Lon Chaney walking the train. Saw Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney Jr.
walking
He's the
down the
son.
street.
So I'm walking down with Dick Cheney Sr.
Never mind, Hank Williams Jr. thinks he's Joe Montana.
The Joe Montana episode of SNL.
Hilarious.
Dude,
Oh, very.
He's fucking up the date for Phil Hartman, and he's like, "Hey man, yeah, if you want to hang out, that's cool." And he's like, and Phil Hartman said, "It's like you hear the narrative going, get out of here, you loser, get out of here." And Joe Montana's like, "No thanks, I think I'm gonna go upstairs and masturbate." And he says like, "I'm gonna go upstairs and masturbate." Like everything he says is totally sincere.
Yeah.
So genius.
You know what else is a good one is the Peyton Manning episode.
Oh,
Peyton
yeah?
Manning's
Yes.
really funny too. The
When
one,
an athlete is good on SNL, it's always like kind of dope.
yeah, like
It's
you know,
relief.
Michael
Yeah.
Phelps sucks. Can't speak a word.
George Foreman, maybe one of the worst episodes I've ever seen.
Yes, but
Terrible.
Peyton Manning's done it a few times and it's
Yep, he was
always
good.
really good. They did one where it was kind of like a insurance commercial, whatever, where he's like playing football.
He is
with
pegging the kids
and
with
he's
the ball.
fucking nailing them. Come on, you pussy! And, like calling him pussy. It's so funny. It's so funny.
fucking good.
Yeah, he's really great.
I want to tell you guys about this vaudeville act.
Vaudeville, Florida?
Is that a town in Florida?
No,
What are you-
I just got it
gotta
up.
be.
I know what vaudeville is. Okay.
Explain it to the people, Aaron, instead of claiming you know everything and making stupid fucking jokes.
I'm gonna go upstairs and masturbate. Vaudeville is, basically pre-television,
Pre-cinema.
live entertainment. Red Skelton was a big mainstay in vaudeville.
And a lot of the original, the 13 stars of Paramount were all vaudeville stars.
Is that right?
That's where that thing came from. It was like, we're going to take all the vaudeville people that are big in New York, send them to California. Originally, Hollywood was not the original location.
That's right.
They were like, you see the letter back to New Jersey or New York saying like, hey, we found this other cool little town called Florida.
Yeah.
Or called Florida. Called Hollywood.
This is Hollywood, Florida.
And there is.
Yeah.
And they had, I think Mae West was like one of the first, like all those people. So the original, but they were getting away from the patents on film from Edison. So that's why they fucked off across the country. So
Yeah. And then they could film all year, and like there's even old maps of California where it says like this can be Spain and this can be Prague and the different parts of LA were stand-ins for different parts of the world, and they even have little cool maps.
Yeah.
The Marx Brothers all started in vaudeville.
Yes.
That's right.
There's
That's why
a
they
lot of-
sucked.
You don't like the Marx Brothers?
No,
What about Harpo?
What about Chico?
Harpo. You mean Oprah's production company? Yeah, I love it.
You fucking nerd. I love Oprah's production company.
Oprah is a self-made woman.
Who else's dick are you gonna suck? Starbucks and Oprah and fucking you only been on for a half hour.
I would do. I'd get
Suck your cock.
all you guys, all you incorporeal entities.
Suck our cocks?
Yeah, you suck a cock. You suck. Everybody gets to suck a cock.
You've all been sitting.
Look under your chair. There's a cock to suck.
Lamar
You've been
Odom.
sitting on a cock this whole time. Oh.
It's full of piss in the balls.
So the big act was this group of sisters called the Cherry Sisters.
The Cherry Sisters.
Cherry Sisters from Marion, Iowa. They were all just farm girls. They were they lost their parents really young. The brother disappeared in Chicago And so they were just kind of like supporting themselves. And they put on in the early 1890s, they put on a little show in their town. And everybody was like, really kind of, supportive. It was like they were doing kind of like morality plays that had music, and there would be like, they'd be playing songs. One of them would bang on a big drum.
Yeah.
And there was like, dancing, and it was all made by them. And there was a lot of it was like patriotic in nature and very Christian in nature. And they
goddamn right.
It was seriously a piano and a bass drum, and that was the only musical accompaniment. And
It's like the White Stripes or something.
there was one like where they're like one of them's on a cross and shit. It's ridiculous.
What?
It was,
Yeah.
And this was
A woman on a cross. That'll be the day.
Well, those are the things that they actually
probably a thief.
they did have a thing about being women that were, entertainers. Like there was a stigma against that, but they were also so religious and Christian and everything, or patriotic, that it was kind of like
They were so unfuckable that nobody would think
they
that
were very
horse.
homely. They were described as very homely
Yeah,
girls.
yeah. Nobody cared because they were so unfuckable. How could they possibly be horse?
They
Wait, was this on a theater like that they built, or where was
This is just a little town in Marion. They did it with, and the neighbors, and they're all people that knew their parents. Their parents had just died, and they were like, "Yeah, this is great." It was terrible. It was absolutely awful. So then they're like, "Oh, this is great. Let's go to Cedar Rapids." They go to Cedar Rapids,
Right.
and they get.
And Cedar Rapids was kind of like Branson, Missouri, right? Like they had a.
It was
Yeah.
like the Wild West almost.
Yeah, but
for
it
the
also had
Midwest.
Branson is strangely, it's this showbiz town, Branson, Missouri, right?
Right.
And I feel like Cedar Rapids at the time was kind of one of these towns, right? Like,
Yeah, it was a bigger town. I mean, that was the big city to them.
Yeah.
They basically almost rioted.
It was that bad.
It was that bad. They went totally ape shit. They were getting heckled the whole time.
boo, you whore.
Laughing, catcalling, and they threw vegetables.
Tomatoes?
Yeah, they threw.
Tomatoes are technically a fruit.
They threw vegetables. Where they got them, God only knows.
Yeah, I
well,
always
Cedar
wondered.
Rapids,
Yeah,
you know,
it's a
Throughout
lot
the
of farm
entire
town.
performance.
But you would pay money to see people throw tomatoes. at
Oh, that's a
people.
show in and of
yeah,
itself.
Exactly.
They were they kind of took it on the road though. They kept doing it because a booker, like they auditioned for a booker, and he was like, "I'm going to book this as a comedy act." And
Right, unintentional.
They don't.
It's like the producers.
They don't know it, So yeah, they're going around, and it's like a word of mouth thing where it's like you have to go see the horrendous Cherry Sisters, and
God.
It got so crazy that at one time the marshals stopped the show because it got so violent. In
like people
punk
were
show.
in Dubuque,
People were fighting in the ocean.
somebody gets a fire extinguisher and sprays it right into one of the sisters' faces.
Oh no! Yeah, when
And this was when fire extinguishers were like toxic and shit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
it was full of fire. That's a. I mean, but we've all done bad comedy shows. When comedy is really
Maybe you-
bad, the audience becomes unruly, and they think they can be.
Oh, better.
the show.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
And
but
so-
this like really brought something out of people where they were enraged. At one
man.
point, one of the sisters, Effie, she would get out a shotgun and point it at the audience. Seriously, yeah.
To keep them in line.
Yeah, because I mean, you're getting a fucking extinguisher in the face.
Yeah,
What's gonna
yeah,
happen
that's
next? Because I mean, hopefully the vegetables are ripe enough. But I mean, if
Right.
you get a fucking
Unripe tomatoes, you're damn near softball.
cantaloupe,
You're a cantaloupe. You're an eggplant.
cantaloupes in Cedar Rapids.
and they, so they were. They got a manager, and they were getting money. They were getting touring Iowa, Kansas,
And free produce.
Illinois.
Eat free on the road.
And there's ballads they're singing, there's poems, there's these morality plays. Like it's a big show, and they really think they're great.
Oh, God. Of course they do.
No, their
Cabbages.
parents died for this.
Cabbages getting thrown. Imagine taking a cabbage to the dome.
You got cabbage, tomato, and a bone. You got yourself a broth there. Half a soup.
Slabs of fresh liver.
Hey, these girls are eating high on the hog.
And eventually they just put up a wire mesh
Like the Blues,
Blues
Brothers.
Blues Brothers and
Brothers.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah, the
Howard the
Ministry
Duck.
used to do that for their live shows.
Roadhouse. Man, we should do that when we have our live show. We
it's a
should put
great
up a
idea.
fucking chain link fence.
Chicken wire.
And so they would blame this insane response
The devil.
to them rejecting the advances of stage managers that hit on them.
Oh, dude,
They
get over yourself.
were like, oh, this is being orchestrated by these guys that we won't fuck that are running the show.
Gross.
So then in New York, Willie Hammerstein, son of Oscar Hammerstein, is
Rogers and Hammerstein.
is getting kind of like, control of his father's theaters, and he's running them way better than his dad, because his dad is like always kind of scrounging around for money. And
He's an artist.
He's doing these incredible like talent shows, and nobody gives a shit. And so he really is like, I tried the best talent, and now I'm going to try the worst.
Like when American Idol got that Asian guy.
So they had somebody gives him
William Hung, right?
William Hung.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The
Yeah,
guy was like, she banged.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's so bad it's good.
It's very it's a very much a continuation.
Yeah,
of
it's
that.
cruel. It's fucking horrible.
It's really wrong.
Yeah.
Let
bad.
us laugh at these folks.
Yeah,
now.
laugh at the fucking.
So somebody tips him off about the Cherry Sisters, and then he brings them to New York on Broadway. Puts them on Broadway.
Cherries in the apple.
Oh my god, it's so cruel. It's so cruel.
1896, Something Good, Something Sad, their show
That's the name of the show. Something good. Something
good.
that they wrote.
That is the best title they could think of.
Jessie is beating her huge bass drum. They're trotting around singing. They have like homemade dresses.
Oh god, big old sloppy tits.
Yeah, go nuts, Aaron. What?
Let me have
Hey,
it.
whatever it takes to keep you engaged.
Covered in tomato puree
yeah,
and
they're the biggest,
fucking Chef
sloppiest
Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee.
Yeah.
SpaghettiOs.
Yeah. Alphabet soup. Canned goods. Plums.
The
prunes.
audience on Broadway is so stunned that something opened on Broadway that is this bad that they sat in total silence.
Yeah, they were sitting there going, why?
Wait, I don't understand.
What?
Am I too dumb to get this?
Am I n- yeah,
That's what would go through my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Is this on purpose?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what would go through my mind is, is this high art?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be, yeah.
It might, it very well might be.
Yes.
Because art is dog shit.
Now, so she fell on the ground and she's screaming. Is this?
No,
what does the scream mean?
She's eating the tomato.
Yes.
The
She's taking the power from the audience.
No, it's a commentary on the exploitative nature of the capital agro industry. Yes.
The tomato wouldn't. She didn't want to fuck the tomato, so she ate it.
That's right. That's right. When you don't want to fuck something, you eat it.
Yes.
the Times, the New York Times,
The Gray Lady.
says
Old Gray Lady.
they considered the act more pitiable than amusing, and they said the effects of poverty, ignorance, and isolation are much the same all over the world.
Oh my God.
That's fucking.
Hold on.
Cutting.
And the Cherry Sisters exhibited every one of them with a pathetic frankness that left no question as to their status or character.
Pathetic. Their character is ignorant, pathetic,
Dude.
isolated.
What?
Oh, I think the Cherry Sisters.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it might happen again, but
Whatever. Cherry Sisters.
yeah, fans of mine just keep calling me.
Yeah,
out.
Yeah, what's up? Once you put your number on Craigslist? Looking for hardcore guys.
Yeah,
No recip.
yeah. I don't want any recip. I'm not good enough for
Yeah,
that.
tell them not to call you.
That like the New York Times, like this show sucks. But what if we had a highfalutin way of saying this show sucks?
Well, that's the thing, though, is that the newspaper reaction became the other half of throwing tomatoes in every town they
That's
went
part
to.
of the show.
Yeah.
It is, and it's this chance for the paper to lean in on something that everybody agrees sucks.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of flex this literary
It's
muscle.
a roast. It's a roast, right?
It's horrible.
How bad can you eviscerate this show? It's that now it's almost a performance in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
So I get that. I think that's almost as entertaining is how bad can you rip on these, Poor souls.
Right, and then there's pseudoscience. This is what poverty brings to people.
Not wrong, I guess. I mean, but it's also city folk really loving being city folk and being higher.
See what happens out there?
See what happens? Do you see what happens?
Yeah.
Do you see what happens when you don't buy into the system?
Looking back on it later,
and they're not wrong.
Time magazine said, in every town that the Cherry Sisters played, it was an inevitable custom for the editor of the local paper to review their act with a column and a half of humor, satire, parody, and biting sarcasm. The Cedar Rapids Gazette, I think being literally close to home for them, ired them enough that they sued him for libel after he said, their knowledge of the stage is worse than none at all.
Oh, what? That's negative knowledge.
Like they're facing the back of the stage, the back of
Yeah, it was I gotta get this quote, man. It's so fucking good.
Now, John, while you're looking that up, I see that you've got it in a comic form.
There is I got hip to this by finding Katie Merriam gave me this book.
Ah, very good. Shout out
So
to Merriam.
there's like they do like 4 pages, but then you do the deep dive on the articles and Wikipedia and everything, and so then you kind of get like more and more choice bits.
Sure.
Like they don't have all the newspaper articles in the comic thing or all the quotes and stuff. There's, the quotes from the papers are so funny. I was crying in my room reading them. Like
every paper.
I should cry alone in my room.
Yeah, it was.
So each paper's trying to outdo the previous one.
Yeah, and it's this thing that
they're job creators.
What Hammerstein was smart about was like, I'm doing the best talent, now I'm going to do the worst because, nobody ever went broke underestimating the intelligence of the American people.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? You might not all agree that this is good. I'm going to make you all agree on what is bad. Yeah. Because that's something you can get behind.
Yeah.
And these girls sucked from the get-go. But then they go to Cedar Rapids, that works out. They get hired, they get a manager. Then they tour the Midwest, that works out.
They're bringing people together by being so
they're
bad.
On Broadway, they're the highest paid vaudeville act.
Oh, God.
Because it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
People are going to go see it just to see how bad it is.
So Hammerstein gets his sons at the next show, after the first opening, to start the vegetable throwing, to get the New York audience hip to it.
This is what we do.
Yeah, but he does throw up the mesh in front of them so they don't actually get hurt. But he was basically showing the New York audience, like, no, this is what you're supposed to do at a Cherry Sisters show.
It's like going to see, like the Rocky Horror Picture Show or whatever.
Yeah,
This is what you do. This is how we do it. You shout out here at this point, and this is the part where you throw.
And you throw the water. Yeah. And then you fall asleep for the last half hour.
Yeah, because it's so long. Yeah. It's late. It's a midnight showing.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this fucking Gazette or whatever. They sued 2 papers at the same time, and it ended up leading to a landmark legal case
where they performed in court for the entire court to see.
No, they did perform in front of the judge to prove that they weren't that bad.
Oh, and what did the judge pulled out a fucking...
The judge sided with the papers and said that the editorial of any paper, because then they appealed it, they lost, and they went to the Iowa Supreme Court.
So... the Cherry Sisters lost their first.
They lost. I think,
and it was a libel case.
It was a libel case, yeah.
And so the decision was that because it's an editorial, and it's an opinion piece,
and
it is exempt.
The duty of the paper,
yeah.
To say that something is good or bad, no matter how severe they may say it.
How bad they savage you.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's
free speech, bro.
Yeah, it was a big fucking deal in its day.
If you get to be bad on stage, we get to be mean on print.
Yeah.
They're basically kind of like led by Effie. I think she was kind of the de facto leader. She's the one with the shotgun.
Of course. Online.
And they really never owned up to being bad. They were like everybody is
sorry, we're good.
In New York, they said it was the people throwing things are vaudeville rivals that are mad.
So they're like Trump delusional.
Very, very, yeah.
Bullshit, right?
And they wouldn't go to any parties. They would get harassed on the way back to the hotel afterward. They wouldn't go to Coney Island because they didn't want to see any women in bathing suits. They were like mad, moralistic and shit. Seriously, imagine imagine the lurid bathing suits in the 1890s.
Man, those full-body bathing smocks.
Do you know of any specifics from their shows? Like,
Yeah, did you memorize a bit?
No, I mean there was God, it's so.
because there's the drum bagging and the getting hit
then
with stuff.
the crucifixion thing, the morality plays, and poems, singing ballads. It would like careen from one nightmare to the next, you know, and they're wearing like these very poor homemade dresses,
Sure.
and they're described as quite homely.
Yeah, big old sloppy.
yeah.
Big old sloppy tits covered in ragu or whatever.
Prego, sorry.
There you go.
I prefer.
Well, they got the name because those are letters that stuck.
And then they
From the alphabet soup?
Yeah.
Fuck you. It's so funny.
so they
ragu.
the negative review the
made of rags.
the cherries were here that I was going to bring up. He said
That's the name of the review?
the cherries were here. Yeah, Billy
They blew through town.
editor Billy Hamilton says
Was he a cherry poppin' daddy?
he was not. He described the sisters as being three creatures.
Subhumans arrived today.
Three chuds.
Three creatures surpassing the witches in Macbeth.
Oh my God.
In general hideousness.
Jesus Christ.
The mouths of their rancid features open like caverns, and sounds like the wailings of damned souls issued therefrom.
Jesus Christ. That is wonderful.
The Mars have
Three
forsaken
creatures, I was instantly weeping, laughing.
Creatures. Now you gotta imagine.
The class thing from the New York Times, like, oh my God, dude.
This is what happens when you're raised in isolation in the woods.
They pretty much they only stopped because one of the sisters got typhoid fever. They went back to the
Definitely
farm.
not pregnant.
Did she get hit with a nail?
They went back to the farm and she died.
That's tetanus.
And they wouldn't.
Jesus.
They would not continue without her.
She was the whole show.
Who's gonna hold the shot?
Yeah.
Effie, they stay on. They go back to the farm. They give interviews in the years passing. I think most of them die like around the 30s, and they're just like no. It was good. They even denied having the wire mesh to protect them in later years.
It wasn't a shotgun. It was.
They were like, oh, that
baton.
never happened.
It's a broom handle.
Effie ran for mayor twice of Cedar Rapids, failed.
Yeah, it's tough to win him over.
It's rigged.
It's so good. But people were like, is this maybe the first Andy Kaufman-esque thing? Like, is it possible they did know?
They didn't know it.
But is it possible they did know?
What do you think?
I do not think they
Yeah,
knew
it seems like
whatsoever.
they
It seems, yeah.
But maybe that's where later acts got the idea? Or, I'm sure there's a bunch of examples
They do
of
say
these.
it's the beginner of outsider music. It's considered one of the first acts of outsider music.
What's that?
Like all those like terrible bands like Matt was playing on that one show.
Oh, yeah, check out our Patreon for
the home with the family, and they
for
were
the
really
Shags.
bad.
Yeah, check out our Patreon for that.
So
Is that what it's called? Is outsider music?
outsider music?
So
Yeah.
bad. Just bad music?
Yeah, I mean, if you like it, you're a fucking weirdo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's I think it's chronicled in a history of outsider music. He kind of starts the book with the Cherry Sisters.
Oh.
And they go back to the farm. They get by doing whatever. Effie's not becoming the fucking mayor, of course. I think they throw on maybe like a reunion show or two in a couple of years passing. Apparently, they get so poor that they like can't fix the roof. And so then they go and just start living in the basement.
No. Well, I mean, the first floor is a form of roof.
Right. Yeah. And then when it gets like desperate enough, they just take like the remaining house wood and just like construct a shack out of that then they live in.
They probably could have petitioned. I mean, I'm
They
sure
could have just kept
probably-
performing
Yeah.
and it's taking care of all their grocery needs.
Yeah.
Dude,
Looks like we're low on produce, girls. Let's go out and
Make a show.
can you imagine?
wrestle up some dinner by putting on a show.
Can you imagine
Bring the crucifix.
fucking fire extinguisher in the face? What? And then the shotgun? Like, this is total anarchy.
Mayhem. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and then they're just like, oh no, we're really good.
We're actually
we
really
are
good.
we are the highest paid stars on Broadway.
I mean, so they were making money.
They were making money.
And what'd they do with it?
Well, I'm sure their manager fucking.
Well,
ripped
trying to
them up.
sue somebody's
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah,
too.
Apparently, they
expensive.
made the equivalent. What they retired with was the equivalent of like $200,000 in that
Alright.
in that time. You know what I mean?
you know, $200,000's not enough to retire on for the rich people.
No, exactly, and that's why. I mean, they
Yeah.
did.
They
at
could have
first-
bought a general store or something.
At first, yeah, they were good with money.
And then they would have had all the produce they need.
Oh yeah, they'd be the ones charging
Yeah,
us
they-
a premium for it for their own shows.
Yeah, they
You
would've
gotta
been making
think-
money
You gotta
left
think in
and-
this
yeah.
game. You gotta
Yeah.
think, bro. You gotta sell merch.
Yeah.
and the merch needs to
merch
be
is
disposable.
Yeah, but it is like a weird.
Think stupid.
You know, I mean, I laugh a lot at it just because they're all dead.
Yeah, it's great. And so they died in the 30s.
They died in the 30s.
Yeah, not their 30s.
no.
They were probably 25, but looked 40.
But I mean, it is really, really cruel. And it
Yeah,
is like,
holding a fucking gun at your audience is cruel. Fuck you.
But I mean, that was in response, Aaron.
Oh, well then get better.
Don't forget, also, your
Get
five
better.
fucking 4 or 5 women
3.
Hideous.
on stage. Well, no, it became 3.
Oh, okay. Oh, because
The
one.
numbers dwindled.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, like one of them couldn't come to New York, and then there was another one. Like,
All the bathing suits.
Couldn't fit on
yeah.
the train.
Yeah, yeah.
It was but I mean, it's like weirdly pre-internet, isn't it? Like
Yeah, yeah. There's a meme-ish
and
quality
the
to 'em.
newspapers are totally the comment section. You know.
But much better written. Much better written.
Yes.
I mean, not a lot of fucking trolls on Reddit or YouTube are referencing the witches in Macbeth and using the word therein.
You're 3 creatures.
3 creatures.
Yeah. They're just saying cunt or fag or something.
Creatures. Like it's just so like, you know, you're making the most, right? So it's easy to stay in denial, especially if you're like a sheltered fucking kid.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
how can it be that bad when we're getting paid so well?
Explain it to me.
Tell me how we're so bad if we're getting paid so
Right.
well.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, you know, they were like in interviews years later, they were like, oh yeah, nobody was treated as you know, harshly as us in show business. Like they thought it was just like their struggle. They thought it was just like, oh no, we were great. We just had to deal with this. Like they thought it was like, you know, they were Jackie Robinson. Do you know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
like
yeah.
I got to deal with all this shit, but I'm still amazing.
Yeah.
But you have to imagine, right? They're like, okay, they go to Cedar Rapids, bumfuck, and then all like eventually they're
bumfuck Iowa, the township. There's an actual bumfuck.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh God.
Wouldn't that be great though? We should start a city called Bumfuck.
Yeah.
a good idea.
Cult.
Yeah, and you fuck bums.
Fuck bums?
Yeah, you get our names tattooed on you, and we fuck you because we're bums.
Yeah.
But they make it to
You're a
Broadway.
bum, we fuck
Yeah.
your bum.
So how are they not a success? Whether it's
They are.
whether it's through their metric or someone else's.
Oh no, they are.
Yeah.
they are.
So
But just
whatever,
because you're a success doesn't mean you're good.
yeah, it's
right?
not for the
No,
reasons that
but
they think. It's
It's a
not
good,
the right.
it's a good rule of thumb. In this case, it doesn't apply.
It filled seats. You know, like
They're right for the wrong reason.
the response is the show.
Yeah.
That's the show.
and everything surrounding the show is the show.
Right,
The
the
newspaper
newspaper.
editorials, the produce section,
Talking with your friends about it at
the
work.
fire
How
extinguisher.
bad it was.
Exactly. They were
yeah.
really just an industry creation. Like, you know, they were the spark for an whole industry. They weren't necessarily the show itself.
Right.
But you can go to the show and be part of the show by throwing fruit.
Oh yeah.
Extinguishing the fire that is their face.
Yeah.
Dude.
So funny. John.
So fucked
it's
up.
So I love bad. I mean, it makes me think of the producers.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's put on the worst show that we can, and it ends up being a success, right?
Yeah. I mean,
People love dumpster fires, man.
but it's you know, I mean, their denial was well fed. You know what I mean?
Like people,
Like when the bookings aren't slowing down, they're only accelerating.
right? So
I don't
it's
care
hard to blame them for thinking that they were
Right.
good.
Of course, yeah. It's like
And they were
it's
dumb.
like
Plus, they were stupid.
An unstoppable force meeting an immovable object.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, you're like, fuck, I mean, well, why am I booked all week on Broadway if I'm so bad?
Tell me that.
Yeah.
How am I so dumb if I'm president?
Exactly. Exactly.
I won this, didn't I?
Yeah. And I mean, like, whatever brand of culture they were bringing out of the seeds of Iowa, you know, with like whatever kind of.
I mean, this is when Iowa was remote.
Right.
They didn't even have a baseball field.
Yeah, they didn't even have Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
You know? They didn't even have Shoeless Joe Jackson's Ghost.
There's no amount of convincing, especially, you know, you're all together all the time. You don't talk to men. None of them ever married.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a real echo chamber.
Total echo chamber. And why would you ever think that you were bad? You were like, no, these fucking papers are just haters. And
Fake
so,
news.
I mean, ultimately, were they bad?
Yeah, probably.
But sometimes bad's good.
Sometimes bad is good. They
Speaking of that, I heard Dane Cook's coming out with a new Netflix special.
Well, it reminds me, the whole, I was at the gym and I saw today the 30 for 30 documentary about June 4th, I think it is, to 1994, the OJ thing.
Oh, the Bronco chase?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Just the day of the Bronco chase.
Yeah.
And OJ, in a very similar way, all these people coming out to cheer for him because it was just like...
It's OJ.
It was just a
the
thing.
the thing to do.
I'll fucking do it. I'll fucking do it. I'm innocent.
Right, and he's like, he's talking to the cops. He's like, people are they just see me and they're gonna be pointing and everywhere I go, they're just gonna be pointing.
Yeah,
at me.
I don't like attention despite being in numerous movies and commercials and being a
It's
football
just like,
superstar. Huh?
Hey, he just joined Twitter? Yeah, exactly.
Did you see his Twitter? Oh my god.
Oh, the video where he said he's got some like scores to settle?
Maybe I'll do some getting even. What?
It's like, what? To what? You killed
I think you
people.
already got even.
Yeah,
You
no,
get
I think,
more
I think
than
you're
even.
actually ahead, dude.
I think
you
you're
should
owed.
quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
So
I think you're like 2 dead bodies ahead of
Yeah, man. Remember how
everybody
you
else on
dodged
Earth.
a double murder count,
Yeah.
and then you got arrested for robbery, and then you got back out. What more do you? What
Oh, yeah, so when he said he's getting even,
Hey,
the,
how
the
could I be so
Goldmans are
bad
like,
if
I
I'm
got
out?
this.
Yeah.
of jail?
Yeah.
Fuck. He's a 70-year-old man. He's going senile.
But
Been hitting the head a
whole-
lot.
Yeah.
CT. OJ.
Oh, he should be acquitted for that.
Yeah.
Just on that alone.
How can you blame him?
Yeah. This guy shows up with her glasses.
Yeah, she was wearing. She was driving his car around town.
Hey, Nicole, I got your glasses you left at the restaurant.
You stupid.
Fucking Aaron Peter looking motherfucker.
I look like Ron Goldman.
Hell yeah, you do.
Fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah, you know
Fucking white.
karate.
And you know who Ron Goldman looks exactly like?
Jesus?
Do you?
Ron Goldman.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman.
Is it Ron Goldman? Who's the dad?
Oh, the dad?
Who's the dad? No, I'm
dad-
saying, is it Ron? Is Ron the dad?
Oh, Ron might be the dad.
Fred. No, Fred is the dad.
Fred-
Ron is the guy.
Yeah, Ron is such
No,
a 90s.
that one picture of Ron Goldman looks exactly the one that you saw everywhere.
With his hair part in the middle.
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
With the earring.
He looks exactly like what's his name? The guy from Drive.
Ryan Gosling.
Is it Gosling?
Ryan Gosling is in Drive.
Yeah, then it is Ryan Gosling. That's what I'm thinking of.
No, I don't think so.
He totally looks like him.
But with different hair.
Yeah, I mean, fuck the hair. His face looks like Gosling.
Oh,
Big
that's
time.
interesting. All right, yeah.
Fucking interesting, right?
That is fucking interesting. Hey, shout out to Kato Kalin, still around.
Oh yeah, I'll probably come on the show.
Oh man,
I saw him in Studio City. Like I was like, oh fuck, there's fucking Kato.
I didn't know you go to
Christ.
McDonald's.
Was that the brewery around the corner? The
Oh, was he your waiter?
no, he was not. But it was. I was like, fuck, man, Kato looks good.
He does look good. Well, you know, men age pretty well, especially actor types like him.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you're
a
not,
lot-
if you're
lot
not
of
working,
sleeping.
living behind OJ's
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
What a sweet fucking PR deal.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things about the case where you're like, explain to me the actor on the property again.
Yeah, why is Kato Kalin?
He lives in the back, and he drives OJ to the airport, maybe sometimes.
And how have I not seen him in anything?
Yeah.
What kind of? I mean, I guess that is.
You know me from the OJ, yeah. It's
Yeah. Man,
David Spade used to play him on fucking
Yeah,
SNL.
that's right.
This is Judge Ito. It's like bringing girls in. Mike Myers is Judge Ito. So dumb. These are other quotes. Absolutely dreadful. Worst ever seen. Dismal performance. A new low.
Shameful. Humiliating. Abortive.
Pitiful exhibition. A later reviewer said, described the sisters as wretchedly poor, homely, ignorant, and without a trace of taste.
Oh. Calling somebody tasteless is one of the... Because you can be talentless, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But not even knowing, not even having the
tasteless
taste to
is-
know.
What good is? Yeah, you don't understand what
You're
good
so
is.
bad, you don't even know what good is.
Yeah, you're so dumb.
You wouldn't know what good is if it hit you in the face. With, like a fire extinguisher.
wretchedly poor.
I mean, yeah, that's some bullshit
You're
to be
so
like,
poor, you're wretched.
look at these poor people. That's,
Oh, how dare they be
Yeah.
here?
Yeah,
They're so
exactly.
poor.
Yeah, the show sucked, but you see how poor they were?
Yeah, what are you, poor or something?
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
your first big city show is a riot. That's what happens in Cedar Rapids.
Right, and they think, hey, we started I mean,
Yeah.
if I do a show and
there
there's
was
a
a riot,
riot,
yeah.
I'm like,
Oh,
hell
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
How was the audience? It was a riot.
They didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Isn't that the syndrome or whatever? It was like the
Down with the sickness?
God damn you. Is it Stendhal syndrome? Whatever, where it's like art that makes you lose your mind and people rioted or whatever.
Listomania?
I think it was the name named after whatever town it happened in.
Oh, that's interesting. I
Where
don't know.
there was an exhibition where people just fucking freaked out.
It sounds like something we should talk about
Yes, for sure.
more in depth.
Yeah,
doing some research.
something I've been meaning to look up. There was a symphony put on, and the town rioted because they didn't understand the music.
It's so crazy. Well, yeah, that's what happened with Franz Liszt, is that people went into fits of listomania. Because it was just, he was one of people were, making lockets with his hair and stuff like that. He was a contemporary of Mozart.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Listomania, the song by the
Who is it again?
Phoenix.
Yes, Phoenix, yes. None of the Cherry Girls ever married.
Shocker.
Well, they didn't have a roof,
Well, you got to keep your cherry, too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you kind of lose the name if you fucking get it popped.
Yeah. What are you going to be, the horse?
Yeah, cosmetic gynecology wasn't exactly the science it is now. What'd you call it?
Cosmetic gynecology.
Cosmetic gynecology.
Cosmetic gynecology.
Has your hymen been destroyed in a freak accident?
Like a baby.
Have you been penetrated and lost your ability to lie?
Was your hymen destroyed by a big rubber cock full of pee? Wait, we didn't say that on air.
What?
Did we talk about that on air?
No, we talked
What?
about that.
Big rubber cock full of pee? We just talked about it.
No, cosmetic gynecology.
Oh, no, we just talked about that right now.
Right. Yeah.
We were talking about it prior
Hymen
to the
reconstruction.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
exactly
John,
right.
where's your intro into cosmic gynecology?
Oh, I met a guy that was buying chairs for his conference room, and
Conference room?
oh no, the
waiting room. Okay.
And he goes, and I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm starting a practice, and I was like, oh, what kind of practice? And he goes, oh, it's cosmetic gynecology. And I was like, wait, what the fuck did you say? And then I looked up the website, and I was like, jaw dropped, like.
You just saw all these fucked up pussies be real nice afterwards?
Well, no. I mean,
Dude, some dicks are fucked up too. I can't say that. I'm sorry.
Wretched-
Some
I
pussies are fucked
don't
up.
think the
Wretchedly
website
poor.
advertising the service
First, they look like this.
is going to show a bunch of fucking destroyed.
Dude, you can look it up. They exist. You can. There's like before and after
sure
pictures.
You've seen it.
They look like an exploded cigar, and then it looks like a razor blade and a
Exploded
watermelon.
cigar.
This penis is wretchedly poor.
Yeah, it's tasteless.
Yes.
These labia were tasteless.
Oh God.
Then they came to John's Cosmetic Gynecology Clinic.
Why is it mine? Because I sold the guy
No,
chairs.
It's another John. There's a lot of people named John. Very common name.
Right.
And
Well, just so you know, all of those exploded cigar pussies were sitting in my chairs.
how do you think they got that way?
But I was really shocked to see like hymen reconstruction super popular with the Muslim ladies.
Yes, because you get shot.
Yeah, but you can break your hymen doing like climbing a fence.
Yeah, falling.
Why'd you leave the house?
You know what I mean? Like
They'll find a way to get mad at you. Just don't you.
Yeah.
it's so dumb.
Why'd you even leave?
But
can't leave.
mostly it's about making your pussy nice and cozy again.
Oh, God, I love a nice cozy vagina.
I got a sex chair for us next episode.
What?
Sex chair?
Yeah.
Like those ones Oprah gives
Like
out?
a Sybian?
Yeah. Like a Sybian, like
Or
a
is it like,
Sybian.
or is it like House of Gourd Bondage, where it's like it's really like a mobile home?
Have you ever been to Sibia? It's a mess. It's war torn.
Everybody's pretty happy though.
Labia torn.
Everyone is real relaxed.
They're really getting fucked over there.
Sorry, bro. I don't think we should be penetrating Sibia.
This girl's weird, man. She's like a Sibian refugee. He's spitting up, you son of a bitch. I got you, you son of a bitch. Yes.
Sibian rip.
That is pretty brutal, John. That is the first time I've spit up on this show. And that is rich. She's a Sibian refugee.
Fleeing terror.
So, oh, God. Who let her out of the basement?
One small other thing I wanted to tell you about was...
so stupid. She's a Sibian refugee. Are you a Sibian refugee? For just $1 a day. God, it's so stupid.
There's this guy that is
So stupid.
this dude, Pavel Navratsky is his name, and he was a guy in Ukraine, had a little farm, Second World War. The Nazis, blaze in, tearing it up, blitzkrieg, what's up, everybody?
Power Blitz.
And this guy is such a fucking weenie that he immediately comes out to the Nazis. He's like, I surrender. And they're like, go home. They're like, you can tell
We're not here for you.
They can tell he's a huge coward. They're like, just go in your house and shut up.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. And he's there with his wife, and he's got like his like little animals about back and shit. And he's just like, living there quietly. And then the, Nazis get fucking pushed out by the Russians.
Hell yeah.
And now he's like, I'm a fucking deserter. So he fucking goes into the pigsty in the back, has his wife like padlock the place whenever she leaves, tells her he's going to kill her if she ever says anything about him. And he stays in there until the mid-'80s.
As a pig?
He lives in the pigsty.
As a pig?
I mean, if you want him to be
Can I call him a pig?
You can absolutely. Get it back! Pig! Lives in the pigsty for fucking 40 years.
40 years?
40 years. Only comes out when his wife dies.
He calls himself a deserter?
I mean, this is in the cold... by that point, it's the Cold War. It's in the 80s.
Yeah, and like there's...
I think he liked it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, probably loved it. Eating
Cotton
shit.
and a pig, man, and shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Did she remarry?
No.
She was fucking all the Nazi chicks, dude.
She was the only one that could go out and get food and stuff. This guy walks into like the town center and people are like, it's like, they thought he was dead for 40 years.
Fucking,
Dude, you smell like shit.
Yeah, dude, he does.
Pig.
And he
was asleep for 40 years.
This poor woman he terrorized, got her to not talk to anybody, to keep his secret. And, meanwhile, he lives in the fucking pigsty. Like, lock the door and leave him there. Just go. Just get out.
Have the pigs take him.
I mean, I don't know, man. He probably was fucking those pigs.
Those pigs have 30-minute orgasms.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
probably fucking them good.
Fucking nice.
Wow.
It's great.
With those big old corkscrew hogs. Every conceivable animal.
Yeah.
So, wait, there was the logic of this was because the Nazis left and he
was a deserter.
He was a coward. The punishment for desertion is often death.
is often living with pigs.
Yeah, but there's a
It's
weird...
often living with pigs.
There's
The punishment for desertion is exactly what you're doing. You did our work for us.
I mean, he went out for like one walk one time dressed as a woman.
Oh, a pig?
Come on. That's it.
A pig woman?
Yeah.
Lady, you smell like shit.
I'm a fancy lady. Yeah. Dude, one walk, one time, that was it. 40 years.
40 years in a pigsty?
40 years in a pigsty.
So he was like 20.
What an autobiography. 40 years of pig.
Goes out, bearded, disgusting.
Ew,
People are like,
Jumanji
is that
style?
fucking Navratsky? And he's like, yeah, I thought you died in the war. I think his wife took a Medal of Honor for him dying in the war and shit.
Jeez.
Think she received it? Yeah.
Oh man, no wonder she didn't talk. She probably would have been
But
executed
the culture,
too.
the culture of desertion, especially in the Soviet Union, is like they're kind of like you're almost beneath killing.
Oh,
like,
they pity you.
The
almost?
guys, and the guys that would come out, like one guy, like he showed up in the '60s, and he hid in a fucking broom closet or whatever for 15 years, and.
So are you saying Anne Frank's a coward?
I don't know. I haven't read it.
I think John said it. Who's Frank?
Yeah. I thought she was working on something up there, like a book.
It would be a Frank. It's not a vowel at the
Think
beginning.
it's cowardly to write a fucking bestseller, idiot.
Yeah, I do. Art of the Deal?
Yeah. The Soviet Union does nothing to them. They don't fucking give a shit. They're just like, look at this fucking asshole.
Look at this pig.
Yeah, look at this pig. And the other people were like, yeah, it was like there's this thing of like, we can't punish you as much as you punished yourself.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't kill a man for desertion.
This one guy stayed under a bed 15 years.
What the fuck?
Yeah, came out. And then he was a teacher beforehand, and they were like, yeah, you can't teach again. You think anybody should listen to you about anything? Like, you're fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
I mean, he
pig,
could have been good at math.
Toad.
Isn't that fucking incredible, though?
Hey, pig, you ever fuck with the toad?
You ever seen the toad? Dude, I
Wow.
mean, isn't that fucking incredible?
That is fucked up. We should talk about that a little bit more at some point.
Like,
Is
there's not
that
really
pretty much the story?
I mean, there's not much to it, so I just wanted to give you guys a couple of
I like that. I like
a couple of nuggets
pigmen.
because there's no
Cowardly pigmen? Funny.
there's really not to it. But the culture of desertion and weirdness is really fascinating. Like, or it's the opposite in Japan. It's the guys that won't surrender.
Oh yeah,
know?
they stay on the island for 40 years.
Yeah.
I demand that my superior officer comes to release me, and they gotta dig the guy out of a grave and animate him like.
I mean, the one guy in that one island in Japan where they couldn't find him forever.
Yeah, and they made him go get his superior officer, who was like a 90-year-old man.
Yeah, well, there was that one guy that was trying to find the abominable snowman.
Oh, the Yeti.
He was like, I want to find this Japanese guy, the abominable snowman, and he had some other like ridiculous thing on his wish list.
The female orgasm.
Probably eat a tiger penis or something.
Oh yeah, that really get your penis going.
Yeah, big time. Level 5.
That's a diamond cutter.
And but he just like he found that guy just like he's like I'm gonna go find that dude, and everybody's like, no, you're not. We've been dropping leaflets. The guy's just going around like you randomly like shoot at a farmer and kill his livestock, take it back to the woods, and this guy just went into the woods and started yelling the guy's name. And found him.
Ichiro!
Seriously, he just fucking found him.
Well, buyers.
And I don't think he could convince him to come back. Or something.
Well, he's free, Why would you want to come back to the?
I think he just also thought it was like another trick. He thought it was just a trick.
Oh no, you are enemy soldier.
You are a total chaos. You are the greatest pervert. Dude, we gotta watch that together.
I would love to watch. I've seen Ichi the Killer. It's wonderful.
Yeah, he comes on that plant.
He comes on a plant. There's a bodybuilder who gets naked. He's got the Joker cut mouth.
The fucking bodybuilder guy out of nowhere is such a like.
It's so fucking bad.
It's so like what?
What? He's the guy that's been following him around in a bathrobe the whole movie. He's a bodybuilders aren't dexterous and flexible.
But isn't that like so next level Russian punishment to be like? We're not even going to touch you.
Yeah, you're not going to have the dignity. We're not going to waste the bullet.
No, not only that, it's just like this thing of like the prison is now your public life.
Yeah.
You're a fucking disgrace.
Yeah, you're a pariah. You're a pig.
Yeah.
What more do you want? You're a pig,
You're
pig.
literally a pig.
You're a pig.
Yeah, you love eating shit.
And we love pig. We won't even eat you, you pig. You pig. You pig. You're a pig.
Silly little pig.
Wee. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Spiders gotta fly.
Zed, Maynard. Spider caught himself a couple of flies.
Bring him down to the parlor.
How come they're all beat up? They came in fighting. All right.
That was great.
Dude, yeah.
Thank you, John.
Thank you,
John.
Thank you to the people of Sibia.
And may they find peace.
Yes, one day.
And may they come home.
Come, go.
I am going to say goodnight.
I'm going to say goodnight.
Please subscribe on Patreon. My name is John Fahey. I love you.
My name is Aaron Pita. I am total chaos. I am the
Greatest.
The greatest hyper.
Yes.
Matt Brousseau.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Good night.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.